Hello and welcome to that Peter Crouch podcast. Notorious SID and Chris, start with me. Is everyone okay? Regards to your families?
Regards to your families, yeah. I'm right. I'm okay. I'm in the middle of a bit of marathon training.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So
how's it all going?
Running the London Marathon.
Do like 10 miles.
Put myself up to the test. Yeah. So train's quite vigorous at the moment. Yeah. 3 times a week, like 9 miles, 12 miles on the weekend.
Wow. I don't think we're talking enough about this, by the way, because it's going to be huge when you do that. The support. Have you done it before?
First time.
We got to get the podcast behind the power of pod.
Yeah.
You know, sponsorship, support at the actual event.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have the names on the back, obviously Bonfire and Notorious, so people can give us a shout
I'll come support you.
100%. It's a good day out.
So also you can track, as I understand it, you can track people as they go. So what I've always wanted to do, I mean, great you're doing the marathon, but apparently, Crouchy, what you can do is like, there's one pub that you can do at the start and say hello to Sid's support. Then we can get on a train or whatever it is, get to the right pub at the right corner,
and wave again,
go on Sid's, give you a pint if you want, sort of thing. Then we'll go again to the next one. It'll be, honestly, it could be quite a fun day.
We could have a That Peter Crouch podcast pub crawl. Whilst you're doing a marathon.
I think I'd rather be doing your pub crawl.
That's such a good idea, Crouchy. That's such a good idea.
You just killed me straight away.
And then we'll just have one waiting for you. We'll just get the load for you right at the end.
Right at the end, on the finish line.
A load.
So I've been training for that, so I'm a little bit up and down at the moment, eating and drinking and just tired.
Are you dedicating your life to this at the moment? You are.
Yeah.
Are you you're eating the right stuff?
Yeah, I'm a bit sort of casual today. I'm going straight to I was going to go to the gym tonight, but I'm going to do an outdoor run now.
Are you? How long are you doing tonight?
I'm going to do 10 or 12 miles. And then I was on the out. Following this app.
This man here is doing a podcast and then just doing 10 and 12 miles like it's nothing.
No, it's more than nothing.
Is it hurt?
Yeah, it's hard.
Does it hurt?
Yeah, my left knee. I get niggles already.
Really?
Calf went the other day. Had to come off for about 10 days. Left knee.
But it's not long now. It's in April, the marathon, right? So that's great that you're doing these distances. But this is the real hard bit, isn't it? Because you have to do long runs.
Yeah, I believe so. Looking into this app and what this regime, you go hard in this sort of section I think I'm coming up to now, and then it tapers off towards the end. So,
well, look, I know what this podcast is like when it gets behind a cause. So I think you're going to be very supported.
Thank you. Yeah, I will keep tabs on it every week. I'll let you know how I'm getting on. And then nearer the time, we'll put some charity stuff up that I'm doing it for and speak a bit in depth. But yeah, it's all going well so far.
Brilliant. Well, good luck to it, Sid.
Thank you.
What a fantastic cause. Just getting into the podcast today. Talking about redemption today. I'll read this out to you. As we call it, Chumbawamba.
Yeah.
But some of the most powerful narratives in sport because they tap into universal human emotions, failure, resilience, triumph, all to do with Chumbawamba or back stronger. Taglines of this podcast, just current situations at the moment. Marcus Rashford, Canny Chumbawamba at Aston Villa.
Yep.
Chris Wood, massive Chumbawamba.
Yes.
Would you say?
Yeah.
Harry Maguire, Chumbawamba.
I feel like he's always doing a Chumbawamba, isn't he, Harry Maguire?
Feels that way. Is he consistently Chumbawamba?
I think he is. Fair play to him.
Yeah. And ones that, can they do it? Grealish? Does he? So I'm just going to get straight into it and that's what we're going to chat about today.
This is a great theme. This is a great theme. So do you feel sometimes, I don't know if this happened in either of your careers, that there is a period where it's probably normally where it's not going quite as well, and then you start hearing this word redemption, and actually it's normally a positive word, it feels, but I think in football terms it could feel quite negative because the fact you need redemption suggests that
seeking redemption.
There's a problem.
Yeah, it's almost like when you go to the card shop and you see the doghouse section.
Very true.
Which is going great guns at the moment.
We have fantastic
keep your redemption card ideas coming through.
It's very. We could have easily named it redemption section.
No, there'd be no fun in that.
But I prefer the doghouse. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think with redemption, like you're 100% right what you're saying. You're coming from a low, aren't you? So that could be a bit of form, or it could be you've missed a penalty in a shootout and then you want to redeem yourself from somewhere else, like someone like Stuart Pearce done for England. So you're always coming from low. But I also think that not everyone can Chumbawamba or do a redemption.
No.
There's got to be something inside that... That's so strong.
The small over here.
I know that you can make it. Well, I've got one for you. I've got a headline for you, right? 9th of April 2011. Peter Crouch takes his first step towards redemption for Tottenham. So what I'm trying to say is that this is where I got sent off in Madrid for Tottenham, and then I Chumbawambaed in the next game against Stoke. I scored 2 in that game, and I think that headline is from that game.
Well, how satisfying for you boys has redemption been? So let's start with that example.
Well, that example, to be honest, I felt really low after that game, really bad. I felt like I let my team down. I remember sitting in the bowels of the Bernabeu, underneath, helpless, hearing goals go in. And I think we lost 4 that day. And it was 0-0 when I came off, you know. And I thought, yeah, we might not have been beating Real Madrid. I mean, you know, they were a world-class team, obviously. But I don't think we'd have lost 4, and then we'd have gotten back to White Lane. And could we have done them somehow? We'll never know. And I felt largely down to me. I remember Harry pulling me in. You know, I was real low, and he said, you know, obviously made massive error. You know, don't let this define you. Basically, you can Chumbawamba, basically. And I'll be honest with you, but when I went into that game at Stoke, it had gone from my brain. I'm not thinking about that now. Genuinely, I wasn't. So that when that headline happens, I think everyone else probably thought he needs to bounce back. Did you get
redemption though?
No, because I had already gave myself it.
You gave self-redemption. Yeah. You gave yourself redemption.
Yeah.
That's a skill and an art in itself.
Yeah, but
so I didn't need it.
But also, what is redemption then? Because is it? God, I love it when we get deep like this. Is it an external validation? Do you need a newspaper to say you've bounced back, or you've got this redemption, or you've
It's a great headline. It's a great headline for someone to write. But in my own head, that had gone, and I think that is probably something that I purposely did and made myself think about. So I didn't dwell on it. Basically, you can't. What's gone is gone. I can't go into the next game, which was Stoke, and go, cool, I hope I do well today because that was shit last week. You know, I'm going to that game going, I'm going to play well today because I want to play well.
Yeah.
And that game's gone.
So that's within him, isn't it? Straight away, he knows he doesn't. Some people would need an external source, i.e., an article or TV to go, he's done brilliant, and then that's then their accolade. Whereas some people would be like, he's done with inside already.
But
you need to bring it out? I've done well today.
Yeah, and I think that takes a certain amount of confidence. I think that's an ability in yourself to be able to do that. But do you think, so in that scenario where you'd redeemed yourself, which does sound biblical, by the way.
I'd redeemed myself. But sometimes you have to, I think. I don't think you can wait for some other people to do it, because otherwise if you don't score that game, are you still in it?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. So did you find that you redeemed yourself out of pace with what you were seeing other people talk about you? As in, were you quite confidently redeemed?
Yeah.
But everything you were reading and everything out there?
Yeah, but I took myself out of that situation of reading about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I wouldn't read the papers. I knew I'd fucked up, and I'm not I don't need to listen to people talking about me fucking up for ages. Yeah. I need to get over this in my own head.
Yeah.
And obviously be down for probably 2-3 days, then back training, back on the next game, and then slowly compartmentalize it and put it into the back of my brain.
So it's a mad footballer skill. That is a skill that I think you guys have to learn with this game. Yeah. Maybe the game forces you to have to be in that situation.
Definitely. You can't go into a game thinking about previous.
No, some players would though. Definitely. Yeah. I think actually your mindset there, and it's very similar to probably me as well, but I've got a little trait of what I'm going to say is some will take last week's or whatever the scenario was, carry it with them. Like what you've done there is like to mentally block that kind of out is I think that's incredible.
I do think there's an element, just before you say yours, there's an element of naivety in youth as well. And I do think when I look at Kyle Palmer, for instance, I feel like some of the things he's doing, it's like almost naive, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like he's got so much confidence in situations that you think most people would panic. And I think sometimes, Rooney did it as well. There's certain players that you just think, I don't even think they're even thinking about the consequences, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so much belief in himself and not as much thinking about what ifs.
I'd say a lot of the modern day players now like that, the youngsters coming through. Just a quick one on with Harry, when he spoke to you after the game, did he do it in front of the...
No, privately.
Yeah. Because
I remember our dressing room was next to the coach's dressing room. And as I went in, Kevin Bond pulled me and said, Gaff, I've never been in that room ever in my life. It's not the manager's office.
Coaches have a separate dressing room.
It's coach's dressing room.
Yeah.
Did I know that? I don't think I did know that.
Yeah, at the home stadiums.
Yeah, but this was at training ground.
Wait, but hold on.
Oh.
It's at training ground.
Okay. But even in the stadiums.
But even in the stadium.
Yeah, but the coach home and away dressing rooms for the different coaches.
No, not away.
No, not always.
Away, they're near enough all together.
But this was in the training ground, and I remember it was right next to where we changed. But I remember going in there, and I was just in the dressing room, and even Kevin Bond went out, and it was just me and Harry.
See, that's good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Man
The way he did it was brilliantly. It was really good. And it was really calm. He never really screamed and shouted at me anyway, really, but he just said, look, I'll be honest, I think this was his words. You fucked up here, aren't you? Like that. And I was like, yeah. And then he said, what are you going to do about it? And I was like, well, I'm going to try not to fuck up again. and then I think he was like, well, trying to make me look forward. And then he kind of praised me about lots of other things that I was doing really well.
Brilliant.
He used the word terrific.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
And he talks about when I scored the winner at Milan, the round before, and certain the way I was playing in that Champions League, the kind of lead up to that, and he kind of really, really praised me and made me think.
So good.
And then I was ready, and I was like, it was the minute I left that room, it was gone.
That would have been one of Harry's biggest games of his managerial career as well.
Yeah.
So he's again taking the selfishness out of his own accolades or to come into your world and go, I still need you to perform for me.
So what the disappointment was in that situation is the Milan game was the biggest high, probably one of the biggest highs of my career.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And to this day, I have people saying to me, kind of the goal against City for Tottenham that got us in the Champions League, the goal away in Milan, people say that's one of their best nights, but then they sometimes go, and I was in Madrid, and I go, what a shame. And you just think, I wish that didn't happen, but that is football in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're there and then you're there.
Yeah.
What about
easily?
Do you think with redemption sometimes it links a bit to forgiveness? So in that instance there, it doesn't sound like you really had to apologise because he made that environment nice for you. It sounds like you sort of did apologise.
Yeah,
He's kind of gone,
I apologised.
fucked up.
Yeah.
And then do you think some managers, have you ever been in a position where they haven't forgiven you for something and it stays uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like that redemption comes from a manager going, it's cool. Like, I know you're not going to do this again.
Manager going,
and then you move on.
It's not. That's not good.
But when a manager doesn't do that, then maybe you're not redeemed so easily.
I don't think there's anything worse than being a manager's lost cause.
Oh, yeah.
That's just where, obviously, Marcus Rashford is at the moment with Amorim. There's no way back.
Yeah. Whatever you do.
Yeah. What were you going to say about your psyche, Sid, and how you deal with things like that?
I was going to say there was an element of me that did drag along with obviously what happened before. So say, for instance, that scenario, for example, that I missed a penalty last week and then I'd won the next week. The build up to that game, I'd be confident to go into it, but there'd also be that element of I need to redeem myself today.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of actually remember kind of saying that to myself as well before a game. I've probably had one that really stands out was, and it was probably more over a space of time, which actually made this worse, was when I was at Fulham, I got back-to-back red cards at the end of the season. Back-to-back. So I got sent off. I got sent off against QPR, right? Got a 3-game ban.
What? And then on the next game
back, 12 minutes in against Arsenal at home, I got sent off against
12 minutes.
12 minutes in.
What was that for?
Tack straight red on Arteta.
Was it really?
Hold on, that's incredible.
And then I got another 4 games. So I missed the last 7 games of the season. And that was it. It was the last 7 games of the season.
So if you get a red card, on the next game that you return on, you get a longer ban?
So you got kind of like a suspended sentence on the last one. So because we appealed and we lost on the first one, it was then a case of if you get sent off again, you're going to get 4 games now. So,
I see. For the appeal process thing.
But it would have been normally 3.
Yeah,
for the tackle.
Oh, wow.
So with that 3, I mean, stats nerds out there, that can't have happened to too many players.
Back-to-back red cards.
Back-to-back red cards.
And I got done 2.5 weeks' wages as well.
Really?
Yeah, it was a bad one.
2.5? I didn't think you were allowed to do 2.5.
Yeah, it hurt me.
Yeah.
It hurt me. I think I had another, what did I have? I think I was going into my last year of my contract and I made them, they said to me, how do you want to do this? Do you want to have it all went out at one go or do you want to do it in installments?
Stagger it.
And I was like, we need to stagger it.
Wow.
We're going Klarna.
Got full Klarna on it. Reading on full Klarna.
Literally.
Did you?
So,
wow. It's like, was it the Freemasons catalogue? £2 a week.
That's how I felt like doing it. But so this was so that's the back end of the season. I've missed the last 7 weeks of the season. Last 2 months of the season I've missed. I've had to sit out. Bearing in mind,
how do you feel?
It's 1 game a week as well back then.
Oh no. So how do you feel? So we're talking about redemption here.
Yeah.
You're helpless.
Helpless.
Where do you get over that? Do you know what I mean? Because every time the Saturday comes around, I'm like, you can't redeem yourself.
Yeah. And being at Fulham at the time, I was quite a poignant character in the dressing room. So I was like, right, well, I can't do anything on the pitch. I just need to be as much in training and drive training as possible, like the person I am, see me in training. And on game days, just be a voice in the dressing room and that's it. But it's still a part of you feels like you're letting everyone down because you're not there. So 2 weeks in, it kind of realised, then you start to realise, well, I'm missing the whole back end of the season here. So however we are in the league, I'm missing, can't do nothing about it. But then I've got the whole off season to then dwindle on this and then come back in the start of the next season. So that really griped me through the whole off season, even on away, holidays, even with the misses and kids and trying to enjoy yourself. It's in the back of my mind. I'm like,
that does that, doesn't it? At the end of the season. I was going to ask you there, what did you work harder that off season than you
more
would
than
normally?
any other one. Yeah.
So you've got that.
It was like a bit of a motivational tool really to go, right, you need to come back. Because first of all, it's a case of they could go and get a new midfielder now. Not just because of that, but they could just go and sign a new signing. So I was like, right, I need to come back first day pre-season, be strong.
Come back stronger.
That's what happened.
Just on the red card, just to bring you back there for a minute. So the first red card was for what?
The first red card was it was a QPR, so it was a local derby. And we actually appealed it, but I actually thought it was a bit harsh.
Straight red?
Do you know what? I got booked in the game. That is one of them ones. I don't know where it was a book. It must have been a straight red because I got 3 games.
Right.
So
do you remember who the tackle was on?
No.
They're derby games, so red cards are kind of, I think they're a bit different in those games.
You could clearly see that the ball did go in the direction that I tackled it. And
could it potentially have been a bluey?
Yeah.
I think the bluey was the next one, the Arteta one.
Oh, you think it's blue?
So let's talk about it. So 3 games, 3-game ban. You then come back.
Yeah.
So 12 minutes in suggests there was an agenda from the start.
No, it wasn't. Arsenal at home.
Was it a reducer? Potentially.
No, but just be honest. Explain, going into the game, right? You've just come back from a red card. So what were you thinking before the game? Were you like?
Well, I was up for it because it was Arsenal anyway. Because Arsenal at home, and then anytime you play against Arsenal, it's always a big game, home or away. It's and especially for me that obviously a former club of mine. And it was a really hot day. I remember that. And it was 12 minutes in. And to be fair, I was probably off the pace. And a goal kick come in. I think I've gone to attack it, and it's dropped down. And then Arteta's literally just got on it before me. And as I'm sort of coming down, the ball's bouncing up. I've stuck a leg out, and he's got it, and I've caught him on the shin. When I say it looks like it's a bit of not a stamp, but a straight legger. And I remember, as soon as I'd done it, I think he might have even fell over me on top of my head, and I've gone down and I've held my head.
You've tried to make out.
I've done like
you're trying to make out you're injured.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
And you heard the whistle go.
Oh, there was an aggressive whistle.
Whistle.
And,
was there?
And I'd just done the look up, and I just see the red, and I was like, And,
no lonelier place than a dressing room after a red card.
No,
I would say.
12 minutes in, is that one where the manager's just staring forward as
he didn't even speak to me, Martin Yole, when he come. The boys come in at half time. I was next door, so I didn't even bother going in because just leave them to it. And he didn't speak to me.
You know, when you get a red, what point do you try to get redemption from the manager? What point what's the first point of contact normally?
Monday morning.
Yeah. But I
just leave the game to it.
Yeah. I'm not one of the ones that's going to go and sorry lads, I'd like apologise. What's done is done, and people that obviously know me know that you haven't meant to do that. But I'm one of the ones where take yourself out of the environment, because the manager needs to now think about I need to change tactics. So I was just let them get on with it. And then Monday comes, and then it's a case of you go upstairs, and then the club want to fine you, and then
the manager. You get called. So do you wait for the call, or do you have to go straight to the head teacher?
Well, I knew I was going to get a 4-game ban, and then I think the chairman at the time was like, "Look, he's missed 7 games, and you know what? I might have even got 5 bookings in that season as well. So I've done another game in the season. So I've missed 8 games out of 38." So the chairman's gone, what value is he to us? So it all starts coming over your head. So anyway, all that off season, I got my nut down, really done well pre-season, come back, and then I'd end up having one of the best seasons of my life the season after.
That's redemption, isn't it?
But it needed to be after 7 games.
Yeah, without doubt.
My fondest memory. And my boys actually, they make fun of it now. It crops up every now and again on TV or on YouTube, and they're like, "Look at you trying to make out you're injured."
What's your favourite example of where a player's come back? I think that Stuart Pearce one.
The Stuart Pearce one is unreal. There's only one. There's only one major one that sticks out for me, and that's Ronaldo R9, the original.
Yeah.
When he was out injured for nearly 3 years, played like a dozen games, I think, in 3 years. Comes in for the World Cup, Golden Boot, and wins it. And have you ever seen a documentary on it?
No.
You've got to watch his documentary. It's incredible.
Is it?
It is incredible.
I love
what he done with his knees, his surgeries, and what he had to go through, and the pressure that was on him as well. And he come back in 2002. And he cried at the end, and he went to there's a great image of him going to the fitness coach, was the one that really rehabbed him back and give him all like the motivation. But that one for me was brilliant, because he's done it on the world stage, the biggest stage in
no, you're right, and the pressure on him was outrageous at that time. Eric Cantona, I remember watching that live when he kung fu kicked the Palace fan, right? I thought there's no way, and the type of character he is, I just thought he'd just leave the English game and think, I don't want anything to do with him anymore. I'm done. I thought he was going to walk number 1. I thought the club had to get rid of him, and he had to be sacked. And he come back and started winning trophy after trophy.
But at that time, you'd never seen anything like that before. Someone jump over the hoardings and kung fu,
then land and follow up with a right hook.
Mate, and it was a right hook as well, wasn't it? He sent him flying.
Unbelievable scenes. I mean, it was amazing, really.
And his comeback game,
Liverpool.
Scored
when he scored the pen and went round the back of the post at the other. I mean,
Redemption.
Unbelievable. I've got 2 for you as well, right? That I don't know if you know. I've got 2 stories here that the boys have dug out for us. Number 1, Thiago Silva. All right, I'm going to read this one to you. Greatest defenders of our generation, but not always successful, believe it or not. He started off as a defensive midfielder with Fluminense, limited options to regress, so he seek trials elsewhere. He went to a lower league Brazilian team called Barcelona Esporte Club. He eventually moved to RS Futebol, another Brazilian side. Then went on to Porto, but didn't make a single first-team appearance. Was sold to Dynamo Moscow after 6 months and never made a first-team appearance. During his time at Dynamo Moscow, he was diagnosed with life-threatening tuberculosis. And while recovering, he retired from football at 22. This is Thiago Silva.
I didn't know any of this.
He retired from professional football for 2 years. His mum convinced him to come out of retirement, and he returned to play for Fluminense, where in 3 seasons he played 143 games and became a full Brazilian international before he returned to Europe to win all the trophies that he did, the Champions League, and he's gone back to Fluminense now to finish his career.
That is incredible,
isn't
it?
Knew that.
I genuinely didn't know that story.
Wow.
Thiago Silva.
Whoa.
I mean,
that is
amazing.
Yeah. Because you people from the outside would go, what a glossy career he's had. He's been brilliant.
But that's the thing, you don't know the struggles beforehand.
Yeah.
Do you? What he's been through.
I wonder, did that have a sort of saying why he went back to that club? I assume so.
Yeah, it would have to have been, just to, I suppose, give back.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be able to go full circle back there.
A Champions League winner.
I think that's such a cool thing. If you can get that, and there's so many, since knowing you boys, it's like, you're lucky if you get to play in the Premier League. Then you're lucky if you win a trophy. You're lucky if you play in a final. You're lucky if you play in a Champions League. You're lucky if you win a Champions League. Like, there's so many levels they go. Then you're lucky if you retire at a club and you have a retirement moment. There's so many things that both of you say that you wish you could do. But there's so many layers to it. I think what a cool thing to be able to finish at a club or play, or retire at a club that you used to play for.
That wrangles with me massively that I never got to go to QPR again.
I bet.
When I started at QPR, there were so many chances. I remember Harry and Tony Fernandes calling me to go back to QPR. And I just didn't work out. And then I just thought, can I get back there at some stage? And
at that time, it weren't the time to go there. Then, was it?
No. I'm glad I didn't at that time. It was a difficult period because I didn't want to obviously spoil it as well. But I would have loved to have got back there.
Yeah, you see, redemption is something that it's kind of like you can only really look back at sort of what ifs and with hindsight, and it's a bit like, in anything else where you lose your job or you get dumped or something like that. And at the time, everything feels really shit. And then you end up meeting someone, you spend the rest of your life. There's redemption there. You know?
Oh, yeah, without doubt.
You finish your career at a club you actually love.
Yeah, that's very true, yeah. It's just a Chumbawamba and it'll score, isn't it? Yeah. Imagine getting dumped and you're absolutely heartbroken. Then, you come back.
Everyone needs a redemption story at some point.
Certainly do.
Yeah. Wicked.
And do you know what? Send them in because we'll enjoy hearing them.
Yeah.
Let us know about your Chumbawambas, your back strongers, or as we've been saying on this one, a redemption. Okay, got another one for you that you might not know. Luka Modric. Luka Modric has had 2 Chumbawambas in his career. The biggest one with the Croatian national team supporters. Ahead of the 2018 World Cup, Dynamo Zagreb chief Zdravko Mamic,
yes,
known as the most powerful man in Croatia, was in court for embezzlement and tax evasion. Modric was called as a witness after previously saying to the court Mamic had pocketed all of his transfer fee in this trial. Modric changed his statement and was charged with perjury. At this point, Modric and a lot of the national team were hated by the fans as they wanted to see Mamic convicted. But after the country reached the first World Cup final and Modric being the star man, the hatred was very short-lived. His second redemption arc comes after the first season at Madrid. Modric was voted the worst signing of the season by a Spanish newspaper Marca. Since then, he's gone on to play 381 games, winning 28 trophies and 1 Ballon d'Or with Real Madrid.
Wow.
There you go. I mean,
first season, I never knew that.
The worst signing.
By a paper.
Having played with him. How mad is that as a headline?
Ridiculous. I think it's understanding what Luka Modric does for a team at first is probably, like when you look at the midfield players at that time, right? Gerrard, Iniesta, freaking Lampard in England, Vieira. Understanding, I think Luka Modric maybe because he goes under the radar. He's not getting the assists, he's not getting the goals, but he conducts. And I think maybe at first to the naked eye, it's like, well, what's he doing for us? And then if you actually watch him and what he does,
effortless. He was a player. I used to hate playing against him.
Yeah,
he was
genius. Did you?
I used to hate playing against him. Just so nippy and just in and out and clever. His movement and just like what Crouchy is, like he goes through games like near enough schooling a game, but not like the way that Stevie would, like just grabbing a game by the scruff of neck and like robust. He was just like, elegant and effortless. And you come off going, literally just had my arse felt there. And he's just like literally just like a butterfly just landing everywhere. Just a butterfly with sore feet. That's what he was.
He's like a butterfly with sore feet. What about David Beckham? There's one for you, right? Obviously, the amount of abuse he got after the '98 World Cup. That I just think if you took that David Beckham, right?
Yeah.
And then made him watch in the future the Greece goal in that moment, right? When he's at his lowest point, when his effigy's burning on the pubs and all the newspapers are like, he should never play for the country again. If you took that David Beckham and made him watch the Greece goal and what people were saying about him after that,
he would
never believe it, would he?
He would never believe it. Yeah.
That's why you're never as low as you think you are, and you're never as high as you are.
No, but did you need that? No one needed what he went through. I think I don't know, like, because I would have been swept. I would have been super young and swept up in the whole like Beckham, because it was no, I don't.
Or the good side of it, you mean?
No, I actually, truth be told, I remember I was so young, and I remember trying to phone into 5 Live, like being really young. I asked my mum if I could ring into 5 Live. When I got through, they were like, "What do you want to say?" And I was like, I just want to say I think David Beckham doesn't deserve to get a hard time, but something like that. Like it's only 10 or 11, and they were like, "Yeah, cool, we'll call you back." Never called me back.
Really?
And I told my mum, my aunt, I'm going to be on the radio. But I think in that story there, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because he redeemed himself from a situation he probably shouldn't have needed to justify quite as much as probably the fans gave.
His first game back in the Premier League was West Ham
away.
West Ham away.
I
mean, when the fixture list came out, he was demoed.
There's pictures, isn't there, with the fans?
Yeah. That was aggressive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
I didn't remember, again, watching it from that documentary that came out, was it last year? How much stick he got. I remember when that thing got hung up on the pub, because that was near me. That was in Croydon Way. And I can't remember how I was young at the time as well, but it was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. They went
to do what he done.
It was ridiculous.
Well, they won the treble the year after, 99.
Yeah. I mean, what a comeback that was.
Yeah. And then obviously, you go on to Greece, and then to be fair, you actually look at his career after that. Wherever he went, he performed, didn't he? There was a lot of people saying, he's finished, he's kind of finished, and he kept going on to Milan and then your PSGs, and then he was like, no, I'm still going, going.
Yeah. No, he was amazing, really. His career in general.
Yeah.
Lots of things kind of, I don't know, he just seemed to deal with the chaos. You know what I mean? Really well. I've never seen anyone deal with chaos around him so well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's always people trying to bring him down. He always seemed to rise above it.
How do you mean deal with? Do you mean you from your position saw him block it out, or do you mean he still was like how he was when he was relaxed?
No, I just think there was so. If you think about like the stories written about him, the drama that everywhere he went, and then still being able to perform to the levels that he was performing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that it might get a bit too much to sustain a career at the top level for as long as he did, with the amount of kind of chat around him. It takes such strong character.
What about managers? Has there been any managers I was trying to think earlier on about whether they've lost a title or they didn't do well at a club, they've gone to another club and then they've
Nuno at the moment at Spurs to Forest.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean that's a Chumbawamba and a half.
Oh yeah.
Gareth Southgate to some degree, just because when he was at Middlesbrough, maybe not so good.
Yeah.
Do you think Gareth Southgate
England manager?
But do you think the sort of redemption arc, was that the phrase that was used there? I think it's a good one. Do you think with Southgate you've yet to really see that full kind of redemption? Like the redemption will come when he manages a club, which I'd actually forgotten about. Like I forgot Gareth Southgate. You feel he should be in the mix for any of these big jobs that come up?
Yeah.
I've kind of forgotten about it.
It's not been spoke about so much.
But almost like he needs to do well in that job. And then I think everyone will look back on him and regard him as, he was actually phenomenal.
Do you think it takes
the way I'm
job
looking at it is, though, because
it's interesting you're saying that.
I don't necessarily...
because you're looking at it from an England point of view, like we should have won something, right? But if you look at it from actual career point of view, he's gone from not being Middlesbrough's greatest manager, do you know what I mean? Like,
or being thrown into it as a player manager at the start.
Yeah, player manager. And then, he was not really, he's kind of bounced around. Is he going to work? To being the probably highest regarded job in the country.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree with
I'm
that.
saying, regardless of how he did, that is a Chumbawamba in itself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And there's even the arc from missing that penalty to becoming the England manager and having that phenomenal success with the England team that it was. I do wonder if the way it finished and the way it was done and even getting the knighthood and stuff like that, it feels to me that how can I put this? Sometimes I perceive there to be quite a bit of negativity around that situation and that I do think there'll be a bigger redemption for Southgate when a bit of time's gone past, the England team, however they do it the next tournament, and people look back on Gareth Southgate, I think he'll be regarded higher than he even is at the moment.
Yeah.
And perhaps part of that redemption could be getting back into management, going great guns with a club, making some right move and managing a top team and taking them to a big trophy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's a redemption for every manager, but I just think, wouldn't it be amazing to see what Southgate now does? And let's say he does win a trophy. Let's say he does, start winning silverware somewhere. That will be a phenomenal
arc.
Arc.
You like it, aren't you? The redemption arc.
I like redemption arc as a phrase.
That is good, yeah.
It's good. I can see you using that in the punditry.
It's kind of better than Noah's, I reckon. In some way.
Do you know, there's a pub near me, really, really close to me, called The Ark. And I think it's the best name of a pub. Because, when it's raining and everything, this pub is really old school. It's like a little terrace house. You don't really see many pubs like it anymore. It's like a little terrace house in the middle of a run of terrace houses in Maidenhead. And you just dive in there when it's raining and get a quick pint. Or like if I'm walking home and I just pretend I'm slightly late and just like dive in there and you can have, 1 pint.
Nice.
Like,
lovely.
Fire on.
Oh, that's
The Ark.
Oh, lovely.
Good name for a pub. What did you say? Oh, yeah, you said there's a pub near here called the Doghouse.
The Doghouse.
We need to check that out.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? Phone goes, where are you? I'm in the Doghouse. What, literally?
No, you're not. Get home. Or you will be. Okay, we got a message here from Dan, guys. I hope this email finds 3 of the buggers and their families well. This afternoon, thankfully in my own home, I tried out the reverse cowgirl toilet malarkey. Not successful at all.
Oh, no.
Now, I'm never going to lay claim to my poop smelling like a fresh bed of roses because it doesn't. And due to the placement of my toilet, my knees being further apart than usual and further back than I thought, it led to most of it hitting what is usually, for me, the front of the bowl. Because it wasn't swallowed by the bowl of water, it meant I got a full sniff and a set of lungs quite the cleaning job after. Good job the missus didn't walk in on it and didn't finish work for some hours after, as it would have been a tough one to explain. Never again will I attempt the reverse cowgirl. It's just not for me. The ledge for the phone, however, not bad. Just never going to be able to fully take advantage of it. So it's a toilet Chumbawamba for me.
Thanks for emailing that in, Dan.
Yeah. No, thanks
It's
for sharing it.
detailed.
I mean, in some ways, that is a redemption arc in its own right, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? It's just one of these things that you got to try these things, and it might not be for you.
We'll be honest, have you both tried it yet? We get so many emails about it.
Yes, I've tried it.
Steve?
I haven't, no.
No. You've got to.
I'm tempted.
Well, you've got to do
I'll
it.
give it
I'll
a
be
go
honest
then.
with you. I didn't follow through with it. I just, after the shower, I had a look and I didn't need it, but I just assumed the position.
Oh, well, that's not doing it then, is it? Assumes the
After
position.
the shower. I can't, by the way,
I was
that's
totally naked. I was already like there. Do you know what I mean? I was already naked.
But that's one of my least
I could
favourite
just picture it.
situations.
I don't want to picture it, but I could just see Scratch get out of the shower, walk in and just iron up the toilet.
Come on, have a go at that. I look like a praying mantis. Have you ever seen a praying mantis sitting? Have you ever seen a praying mantis?
Can you get a picture of praying mantis? Is that right? I can't deal with a wet. You know when you're wet from the shower and then you suddenly need the loo. Like, I hate that situation.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
That's a praying mantis. Just the legs back. Do you know what I mean? And like,
So we got it. We got it. It's all right.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? A little bit like a praying mantis. I found it quite comfortable. I felt like I was riding a motorbike.
So you've had a teaser for it, and the next one is going to be
what? Just going following through.
I'll give it a try. We'll give it a try.
Definitely give it a try.
I'll give it a try. I don't know if I'll go fully naked, but I'll give it a try.
All right. Afternoon bonfire BBQC and Crouchy from Bahrain. I also extend my best wishes to you and your extended families.
So nice.
Love the pod and listen while I'm driving around the Northwest. Been laughing to the things you say in the bedroom, and I would like to add my 2 pennies worth. Here's he's just smashed a screamer. Oh, sorry. Christ. I just read that very naive there.
That is like a radio presenter
I feel like I've just been
reading
done.
out what you said earlier on.
I've just been done.
Yeah. It is.
I've just been done there.
You
haven't I?
just fell for that.
I was like, I'm not going to repeat it, but
You are right. Sorry, very quickly. You are right. It's like when people text into the radio under the fake names. I've always got to be mindful of that. And really do me a solid, please, and don't do it.
well, that's just asking for trouble. That
No, I know. But actually, in our new age of respect on the podcast,
Okay,
I'm really hoping because
don't want to bend over.
I've seen most of them bend over.
Yeah.
You obviously got your Michael Hunts.
Oh, of course,
and
yeah.
you've got
Phil
your
McCracken.
Phil McCracken. They're all there.
They're all there.
Hugh, Janus.
Yeah. Huge arse.
They're all there. You do become better at spotting them, but they still occasionally like to try and get them in.
Yeah.
I'd met someone the other day called Richard Cheeseman. So his name is Dick Cheese.
He is, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well,
Real guy called Richard Cheeseman.
Journalist. I saw him floating around on the TV again the other day. And I always remember his name because do you remember when the fuel crisis was on and there was the queues at the petrol stations?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the BBC journalist for it. Might be ITV, but one of the biggies.
Yeah.
Never guess his name. I saw him again on TV the other day. Phil McCann. He was reporting on the fuel crisis.
Someone's having a laugh there. Someone's gone, right, who are we going to get to do this oil crisis? Get Phil down there.
Unreal, isn't it? Isn't that the most satisfying thing when your name matches your job?
Unreal.
That's class.
Yeah.
That's really
so good. All right, lads, I just want to finish on a haircut level if you don't mind.
Of course.
Yeah.
Who's this from?
This is from John.
Okay.
Shaved Given. Jedlock Spence. Ricardo Carvalho, Sven Baldman, Luke Short back and sides,
Nice.
Oscar Bob.
Nice.
I like that one.
Nice.
I like it when it's just the name.
Yeah.
Oscar Bob, Rodrigo Manbuntinker, Curtins Jones. Left midfield, we got Steve Fadeswell.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
That's nice.
Roque Santa Cruca, Mohawk Salah, manager Rude Mullet.
There we go.
I think Steve Snipswell is
better.
better, if I'm honest, but
Steve Cutswell.
See, people might take that the other way, the Snipswell. But fades well, snips well. It's all well.
Trims well. It's a well that ends well.
all right. I think we're done, aren't we?
It just might drop that.
I think we're done.
Is that your quote of the week? It's like one a week at the moment, isn't it?
All's well that
There you go.
sells.
Whoever you are out there that keeps putting the picture of Peter Crouch and then the quote underneath in the dramatic font, there's your one for this week. I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, well, I'd say we'll see you next week, hey guys?
Regards to the families.
Regards, yeah. Kind regards to everyone.